Welcome to Body Empowerment. Hello. We have another guest. Yay.
Hey.
This is Justin Wu. Justin, who are you?
I am a guy who lives in Jersey City, is I guess the first part. And I'm a spoken word poet. I'm a DJ, audio engineer, occasional playwright, and general theater person, and all-around geek. And that's pretty much that's I think the whole thing. Yeah, I guess so.
Come on. No, I'm kidding. That's great. That's amazing.
I try and keep busy.
You clearly. Thank you for being here today.
Sure.
And let's talk about your experience with body and body image and how it's impacted you.
Sure.
Specifically, maybe as someone who identifies as male. Share.
So in terms of body image, I would say that like two things have really informed body image stuff for me. One was the fact that my dad particularly always called me fat. There was just always like this fat thing, and I have flat feet, but that's because you're just genetically designed. That's how your DNA say your feet should be. But my feet were flat because I was fat. Wow. And I wasn't really fat. It's just that my dad's standards for what is fat and what is not were a little skewed, because he was really skinny when he was young. And I was an inside kid, and I was a geek, and I was, he was very much about computers, but I was very much about computers even more than he was. And so it was like coping with that, and I'm, I think it was like college-ish, like end of college, beginning of like being an adult, whatever that is, where I was like, okay, I'm not fat. This isn't something, I'm, who I am, what I am. I am something. I'm a guy. I'm not maybe in the greatest shape, but I'm not fat. Going to Rutgers, New Brunswick, in New Jersey, where it was like, I think it was like when I was there, it was like 40,000 kids. It's like a lot of people. Yeah. And that's just undergrads. So you see like a wider sort of range of people, and then you see yourself sort of in the context of other people, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm in the middle. I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
So contextualizing yourself in a larger group helped you come to terms with your own body.
Of like that part of it.
Okay.
One of the things that growing up was very difficult, and then I was a lot harder to recontextualize, and I'm still working on that.
Okay.
Is racially, my facial features.
Okay.
Elementary school. A lot of our ideas about who we are and what we are so formed in this early, like single-digit ages, and I took a lot of crap from my classmates, particularly one really like kind of vicious and abusive girl, which was really weird. Also, sort of being a guy and then also being in this situation where like where this binary is flipped and you're out of control. But she really gave me it was a lot of racial hatred, really directed at me, and particularly at the way I looked, my eyes and my nose were like this really big thing. And because you're a guy, you don't talk about that. That's not something we are allowed to talk about, allowed to think about. Do you know what I mean?
Do you wish you were?
Yeah, I do. I really wish there was some way I could talk about that, some community of that. I mean, and when I was in elementary school, in my 5 years of elementary school, I think there were 3 Asian kids, including me, 2 Vietnamese, me, I'm Chinese, there's us 3, and then there were maybe like 2 or 3 black kids in my school. Everyone else was there weren't even, and I grew up in New Jersey, there weren't even Jewish kids where I grew up. It was Irish, Italian, Catholic, Polish, and that's it. So it was really one color. And so it was really hard to recontextualize myself. You didn't see Asian people on television. It was very rare. It was very, like, my whole family was excited when Margaret Cho got her own show. We were all so excited. We're like, finally, and now it's starting to change. Now I see Asian women in gray hoodies trying to sell me yogurt. And like, it's corny, right? And it's kind of not cool to be seen as just like a demographic to be marketed to, but at the same time, people are acknowledging that you're there. You're being told that white is beautiful all the time. It's really hard to say that, okay, this is all right, that this is okay, that this can be attractive. And that's really tough. Yeah. There's a gender split with Asian people.
Okay.
Asian women are generally fetishized, which is not okay.
Right.
They're fetishized. They're seen as kind of more high value, sought after by men of all races, which is problematic because that's dehumanizing
Absolutely.
in its own way and a problem. And Asian men are the opposite.
Okay.
Emasculation. I've got words. I have
You're doing
so
great.
many words.
You're doing great.
Emasculation is what it's kind of termed in race theory for Asian men. And and you hear it a lot. It's Asian men have smaller penises, and Asian men can't play basketball. But we saw how untrue that is. Asian men can't be athletes. Asian men are, nobody wants, and it bleeds in. It's generally like Asian men being seen as undesirable, and you see it a lot. In a lot of ways, Asian men are considered the lowest value male.
Wow.
It's tough to feel invisible. I think there are a lot of other minority groups have an issue of a very limited portrayal or a very negative portrayal or both. And with Asian people, we're just not there. We're just nowhere to be found. It feels like Asian men are particularly invisible, but it's so awesome. I feel like that's starting to change.
Yeah.
There are people who are household names who are Asian. John Cho. And like Daniel Day Kim that I mentioned. And Daniel Day Kim is like making, sexiest man lists.
Sure.
And that's like so awesome because that never would have happened before ever at all.
And so you're talking a lot about how the media helps to recontextualize empowerment. For yourself personally, and what could you say to a young Asian man watching aside from the media, aside from celebrities, what are you doing and what can a young Asian male do to combat that invisibility, to regain strength or to strengthen what is already there in feeling strong in their relationship with their body and body image?
I think one of the most important things to do is to use the power of the internet, which I didn't have when I was younger. That was a late 90s thing, and I was just getting into high school, getting out of high school when that was happening. Use the power of the internet and really go out of your way, because you're going to have to go out of your way, unfortunately. Go out of your way to find role models that look like you, who are doing the things that you want to do or you are currently doing, and see yourself in them, admire them, look at their work, admire their work. One of the life-changing, just powerful experiences for me was when I got wind of the Asian Pacific Islander American, APIA, Spoken Word Summit. Wow. I was able to participate and really talk and be with like this group of like 100 like Asian people, young Asian people doing exactly what I was doing.
And how are you now at 29 feeling in your own skin? You said you've been able to recontextualize a lot of your body image and your relationship to yourself. Where are you now? How are you feeling?
Well, there was this great moment in my life. There was a girl I was seeing. Well, woman. Girl is such a weird word. I'm trying to change the way I use that. There's a woman that I was seeing. I was about 22, very young, still kind of grappling with these things. It was before I went to the summit. And she kind of pointed out to me, she likes my nose. She thought it was cute. And she did this, she just like reached over and she just went like that with my nose. And I recoiled. I was like, don't, no, don't. And it was so kind of this gut instinct, like emotional, like really intense, like aversion to having attention drawn to that feature.
Sure.
And then I spent some time like thinking about that, and she insisted, this is cute. It's cute. You're attracted to me. That this part of you that you don't like is attracted to me.
Yeah.
It's not something that I am attracted to you in spite of. It is something that is part of the whole package that is you. And of course we didn't have the conversation wasn't quite that specific, but But looking back on it, it was a really powerful experience for me, and I thought about it. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. And I realized, I'm like, wow, I have all this baggage around this little piece of cartilage on my face, and so much of the way I thought the things that made me attractive didn't include that. That this was something that you will be loved in spite of, not because of,
Right.
And now one of the things as I'm getting older.
So that was a turning point for.
It was a huge turning point.
That's so fascinating.
And as I'm getting older now, and I'm 29, going to be 30 this year, coming into my own, really as a man, in the larger context of family, I look at my features. I look at the way my eyes look. I look at the way my chin looks. I look at the way my nose looks, and I see my family.
Wow.
Cheekbones from my grandfather, and I know that I got this nose from my mother, and it's in my whole family has the same nose, you know.
And that's empowering.
And that's empowering, and that's beautiful, and that shows a sort of a connection to a lineage.
It seems that you've gone full circle, and what used to be a source of insecurity and negative body image has now become empowerment. So these features that in elementary school and as a kid you were bullied on, made you question who you were and your identity, now in seeing your family and your heritage, you are proud. You are able to use that as a lens into your empowerment. Is that correct?
Yeah, that this connects to something.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing all of this. Are there any final thoughts you have in everything you've shared?
In terms of final thoughts, I guess, like, you know, sometimes you have to be a prodigal son. Sometimes you need to go there to come back. You know, and if you are where I was 10 years ago or 8 years ago, you probably don't want to come back, you know, but eventually you will, and you'll be so glad you did. The thread that you're going to find with these role models that you're going to seek out, you're going to find that you are a part of the thread connected to them, connected to your family, going back hundreds and hundreds of years to civilizations, to societies that we don't learn enough about, that are ancient, that are beautiful, that I'm still only beginning to learn about. See yourself reflected in that, and try not to take it too hard when the world tries to bring you down, or when the world tries to say that you don't matter, or when the world tries to say that you're invisible, because you do matter. And you will, through the wonderful things you do, through the people you love and the lives that you touch, you do matter. And that's the difference that you're going to make, I think. And I really hope that if you're out there and you're looking at this and that you're seeing this, that, you know, maybe that I can help you, and then maybe this helps you, and then maybe the things Caroline is doing help you in a way that I really wish that I had been helped when I was younger. So yay for the internet. We have all this wonderful stuff now.
That's beautiful.
And
oh my God,
we can reach out this way to each other and to you guys.
What lucky people watching. I mean, I was like, how long can I go before I have to wipe away my tears? That was beautiful. Justin, thank you for being here. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, thank you. Just a whole other video of gratitude I could make, right? Thank you all so much for being here.
Watching.
Justin, how can people find you and stay connected with you?
You can search for me on Facebook, Justin Wu. Just search me out. I have a blog on WordPress that I update semi-regularly. It's justinwu.wordpress.com, and you can find me on there. And it's twitter.com/JustinWuArtist. And those are pretty much the best ways to find me.
Awesome. Yeah. Justin, thank you again.
Thank you again.
One more hug. Bye. Thank you.